Meantime, we're following this question. Did the FBI use its counterterrorism division to target parents protesting COVID mandates at school boards? Well, two congressional Republicans say they have evidence proving they did. Let's get more now from our congressional correspondent Kilmeny Ducart, joining us now live from Capitol Hill. Kilmeny, good morning.
Good morning, Emma and Sean. Congressional Republicans Jim Jordan and Mike Johnson have sent a letter to the Attorney General Merrick Garland saying whistleblowers have shown evidence in dozens of cases where there have been investigations within not just parents but also school boards that were reported through an FBI tip line. The letter goes on to say that the FBI opened investigations with the EDU officials' threat tag in almost every region of the country, and that because of Garland's directive, federal law enforcement used counterterrorism resources to investigate protected First Amendment activity. In one case, a mom protesting mask mandates reportedly told the school board, "We're coming for you." Jordan and Johnson write, the complaint, which came into the FBI through the National Threat Operations Center snitch line, alleged that the mom was a threat because she belonged to a right-wing moms group known as Moms for Liberty and because she is a gun owner. The letter goes on to say that the information is evidence of how the Biden administration is using federal law enforcement, including counterterrorism resources, to investigate concerned parents for protected First Amendment activity. All of this comes as Republicans continue to press the Attorney General Merrick Garland to investigate those protesting outside the homes of those Supreme Court justices, saying that that's a violation of federal law. Quick follow-up for Chairwoman Stefanik. Do you think that the Biden administration and the Justice Department right now is approaching the protests that we've seen outside the Supreme Court justices' homes and also the attack on the Wisconsin pro-life group? Do you think that they're approaching that with the same intensity as they did with protesters at those school board meetings over the mandates?
Well, certainly not. The fact that you have the White House press secretary encouraging people to break the law, it is unlawful. It is against the law in this country to protest a sitting judge.
Well, Congressman Jordan says the Attorney General in his testimony lied before the House Judiciary Committee. He's called on Merrick Garland to preserve all internal documents, and he has vowed that the committee will not drop this.
All right, Kilmeny Ducart with the very latest, asking questions Americans care about. Kilmeny, thank you very much.
All right, for more on that report there, FBI's counterterrorism division investigation into parents allegedly there, we'll turn to Congressman Pete Sessions of Texas. Congressman, good to see you. Thanks so much for coming on. So here's what I want to talk to you about. The FBI, the protests, the abortion bill that just flopped in the Senate, which was expected, and then obviously the inflation that we're seeing. So let's start with the threat tags on parents there. You've got a couple of congressmen writing a letter to the AG demanding answers about these threat tags allegedly on parents using the FBI. Your thoughts on this?
Well, there's no doubt in my mind that this Department of Justice has politicized once again the FBI. They have put the FBI in charge of doing their dirty work. And this is where the FBI director needs to stand up and take a hard stand. And perhaps his job is being threatened. Director Wray is a man who I believe has integrity, but he is allowing this department to handle political activity rather than real law enforcement threats against the nation. If there's something that is back in the school board in a particular city, that is up to that city to then figure that out. But we've not had instances where people have showed up and threatened school board members. They've been asking questions that they took as a threat. Get ready for midterm COVID. Midterm COVID is going to be the next excuse this administration has for shutting down the country and free speech.
Well, they've already said prepare for a possibly winter surge, fall surge. We've already seen that. But as you know, we have seen the same rhetoric used the year prior as well. However, we'll take any health measure seriously, though.
Well, this is the success. This is the success of the midterm elections. They're going to try and roll out round two of scare people that we have to have all these draconian measures that are against the law. And that's why we need to be ready and prepared to say, we're not going to allow that to happen.
Let's talk a little bit about what we just heard also in that report earlier there. As you know, the FBI was quick to act, right? When the whole parents got frustrated within the school boards, you had, again, these threat tags on parents, the FBI using their terrorist designation to investigate. But then you've got protesters outside of Supreme Court justices' homes. You've got them in Madison, Wisconsin, throwing Molotov cocktails. You've got them in Catholic churches going inside. But let's go back to the justices' homes. That's a violation of Virginia state law. That's a violation of a federal law. If you're meant to try to change or influence a decision of a sitting justice or judge or an outcome, etc., the question was asked, why isn't the FBI or the Department of Justice going after these crimes as hard as they did parents?
Well, certainly these are questions that Congressman Jim Jordan and others, Ken Buck, have asked. And they expect the answers. Merrick Garland has chosen that he will not respond, which is very typical of not just this administration, but actually of what is happening in Congress. There are questions asked, there are norms that are made, and we are not getting back answers. But this goes back to the top of the ticket, and that is the President of the United States and the Vice President that have chosen not to listen. And they are not ready to lead, and they are not ready to serve. And that's why this November is going to be such a big outpouring to throw the Democrats, the socialists, and the communists out of office.
All right. And also I want to ask you about this on the breaking news of the PPI number, producer price index that came out, which essentially that just means of what is coming out these factories and then out to the stores is higher, thus affecting inflation. The PPI number is at 11%, higher than expected. Yesterday, we announced the inflation rate is still at a 40-year high at 8.3%. And here we are. Americans are feeling it every time, you know, they take a trip. If they're picking up the kids from soccer, if they're going to church, if they're going to the grocery store, buying milk, bacon, airfare, et cetera. And then you have this report that the president is shutting down these land leases to drill oil in the Gulf of Mexico and also in Alaska here. What are your thoughts on that? Is that the right way to fight this when gas prices are sky high, both regular and diesel?
Well, of course not. And today at 10 o'clock, we have Janet Yellen, who's Treasury Secretary in front of the Financial Services Committee. And she is the person who has led the economic forecast and looking ahead about what will happen. We were told a long time ago, it's okay to add $110 billion to the economy from the Fed every single month. And what this does is they have made friends with inflation. They now are stunned that what they have done has produced the outcome. Well, elections have consequences, and so do directions that you move the country. They want to bake this in. They want America, free enterprise, to fall to its knees. And then they want to be the arsonist that started this and then be the firefighter to deliver hundreds of billions of dollars, trillions of dollars to save the economy and individuals. We will not be fooled.
If there's a red wave in November, you folks, you Republicans, will have a lot of fires to put out. Rest assured that you're going to have your hands full there in a few months, if indeed that is the case. Congressman Pete Sessions joining us live on the broadcast. Congressman, good to see you. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.